So good afternoon. Oh, y'all know that won't work, right? So good afternoon. Yeah, welcome to our monthly Community Coalition meeting. We've got another great meeting today. We're going to talk about jobs, workforce training, all the great things that we have happening in our community to support workforce. So I'm really excited to share all of that information with you. I am Tracy Parsons. I'm the facilitator of the Community Coalition. So how many first-timers do we have today? 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you. Give them a warm welcome. So, you know, the coalition is all about collaboration and building partnerships. And so we do the introductions because it gives you a chance to see who's in the room. You know, those folks you've been emailing and calling that didn't return your calls or your emails, they're probably in here so you can catch them after the meeting, right? So it's supposed to be a joke, right? I guess it wasn't very funny then, all right? Okay, so a big important part of our meetings are our partnership with our law enforcement leadership, so we're going to ask them to come on up now. I did hear from the sheriff today. I think he might have had a late night last night.
I think the sheriff was picking up signs. At least that's what I read in the newspaper. I've only got 2 things to talk about today. Since the last coalition meeting, the Urbana Police Department has had 1 shooting incident. That occurred on November the 6th, about 10:27 in the evening in the 2000 block of Philo Road. Multiple callers called 911, reported hearing shots. Officers responded and found more than a dozen shell casings in a parking lot. No one was injured, and there was no property damage. So year to date, we've had 43 shootings as compared to last year. We had 93 at this time. That's approximately a 54% reduction in shootings compared to those, comparing those 2 time periods. The other thing that I wanted to discuss is actually going to take a little bit longer. I sent out a press release this morning announcing that the Urbana Police Department has been accepted into a program called ABLE, which is Active Bystandership for Law Enforcement. It's a national project routed through Georgetown University Law Center for Innovations in Community Safety. The project is designed to prepare officers to successfully intervene to prevent unnecessary harm and create a law enforcement culture that supports peer interventions. Thank you. The intention is more specifically to prevent misconduct, avoid police mistakes, and promote officer health and wellness. ABLE is an evidence-based program founded on decades of research, field and lab experiments, and on-the-ground experiences. The ABLE project team has brought together experts from a wide array of fields and disciplines to ensure that the ABLE training incorporates best practices and the newest thinking about active bystandership and continues to evolve as they learn more about what makes people active or passive bystanders. Sorry, page 2. The ABLE team makes yearly updates to the curriculum to ensure that it reflects the latest learning on active bystandership and law enforcement contexts. The team also produces yearly refresher training curricula, which all Urbana police officers from the chief of police to the newest patrol officer will be required to complete. The feedback ABLE has received from instructors from all over the country has been overwhelmingly positive, despite the fact that ABLE pushes officers to rethink much about current police culture and challenges officers to tackle difficult issues, from preventing misconduct to telling a ranking officer they're about to make a mistake, to having a courageous conversation with a colleague facing a mental health issue even. I'd like to conclude by publicly thanking President Minnie Pearson from the NAACP Champaign County branch and Dr. Jennifer Avery Tatum from the Urbana School District 116 for providing letters of support for our application to the ABLE project. Their support was critical for a successful application. If you'd like to learn more about ABLE, simply go to Google and type in ABLE, A-B-L-E, Georgetown, and it will be the first result that pops up. They have many informational pages and lots of videos that you can watch to learn more about it yourself. Does anybody have any questions for me? No? Okay. Chief Carey.
Hello, everybody. Give you a little Campus Town update. We've been very busy, but the officers are working hard to make contacts with the business owners down there, so having a community connection is really helping and keeping that area safe. The good news is we haven't had any major incidents of violence, but of course, we want to remain vigilant and steady and ready in case something does happen to keep our people safe. We're seeing a lot of scams lately. Some are sexual exploitation or love scams, as they call them, where a person reaches out and requests an intimate relationship, and then they get that relationship, and then these people are sending photos of themselves, and then they're using that against them. So we're seeing a lot of that. We're also seeing spoofing of local police department phone numbers, especially geared towards our international students. That's kind of telling them that they're going to lose their visa or something. We had one student that was scammed out of over $300,000. So that's a big deal. So we're working with them to try to get some more education because they don't know our culture. So they're assuming this is real. So we're spending a lot of time with our students and giving those warnings out. And as far as mental health, we're seeing a lot of increase in mental health calls for service and interventions. We typically see that around this time of the year with students and the stressors that they have with everything going on and being a student these days. But our REACH team has been very busy, and our therapy dogs have been very busy to try to help mitigate some of that. So their finals are coming around December 12th or so is when they start. So we're hoping to give them the resources they need to be a successful end to the fall semester. So that's where we stand at the U of I. If you have any questions, I'd be certainly willing to answer those. Good deal. Thanks.
Good afternoon, teammates. Tim Tyler here. So we had a homicide on 11/4. 18-year-old female was shot and killed. We're working that case right now. If you have any information, please contact the Champaign Police Department or Crime Stoppers. Also, we're getting a lot of more calls for CIT, mental disability, mental illness. We've seen a rise in that over the last month. And also during this time, we've also had a rise in domestic violence. So anyone in the room, I need to partner with you so we can find a way to help. In my 30 years of doing this, by the time when we get to violence on the streets, a lot of it is from domestic and how it goes all the way up, and we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg when we see it on the street. So we're asking for help to fight domestic violence. It normally increases during this time, and we're seeing an increase. So the good news, you asked me questions last time. I wasn't prepared, but I wrote your name down, and I anticipated like a million questions from you. But on the good news, your Champaign Police Department is doing a lot of self-initiated activity. We've had an increase of 400% with self-initiated activity. We have recovered today 197 illegal weapons off the streets, which we're seeing that decrease of 49% in violence crime. But we're not done because one shooting is too many. So we're going to keep pounding. We're going to keep making our community safe, and we're going to keep working with the community members. Members of the Champaign Police Department have lodged about 60 hours this month, 13 different community events, talking to homeless associations, going out, radio, guests talking. So we're all in, and we want to thank you all for being partners with us.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'm also kind of trying to put you on the spot, So I just was curious about, so you said you need help with like domestic violence. From your end, what kind of help can the community do with that?
So domestic violence is, to me, a real illness, right? And it's cyclical. And so many times we forget to talk about those victims. I'm a member, I'm not trying to, but I'm a member of CASA, Corner Ported Special Advocate when you come to neglected and abused children, and it just keep growing. So if I can ask anyone in the room, keep that in the front of your mind, not in the back of your mind, that, is usually cyclical and it continues in their adulthood.
Thank you.
That was easy.
I just know we're in works of meetings, so I want everyone in the room before someone calls out Courage Connection. We're already we're already talking and working on getting that meeting set up. So
Yeah.
I just wanted everyone else to know that.
So everybody talk about gun violence, but I want you to look in my face and know and hear it in my voice how important fighting the illness of domestic violence is to me. Like, I've been doing this for 30 years, and every time it goes back to a victim of crime, it's domestic violence is some kind of way related. So let's fight that. And just for everyone in the room, we're beginning to see a rash of burglaries to motor vehicles. People are leaving expensive items in their cars. They're not locking their cars, and people are shopping early in their cars. So make sure you lock your cars and hide your valuables. Pending any questions or comments?
Thank you for all you do. I do have a question. How do you dispose of the illegal weapons?
First, we have to get a court order from a judge saying that we can destroy them. And then from there, once we get the court order, then we melt them all down.
All right, so let's give our leadership another round of applause. So, Chiefs, so next month, get this early plug for the meeting next month. We're going to spend some time kind of year in review. And I think when we do this annually, we find out just how much we've done as a community to address issues. So when you think about your presentations next month, if you could think about accomplishments, goals, trainings, all the things that you've done that the community probably is not aware of. So thank you for all that you do, and I want to give that early plug for next month's meeting. So our county executive, member of the Community Coalition Executive Committee, is going to speak to us for a second.
I just wanted to take a couple of minutes. I'm late as usual, so I missed introductions when I would have said this. I'm Darlene Kleppel. For those of you that do not know me, I'm a founding member of the coalition. I've been a member. I don't come as often as I used to, but I do come once in a while. I wanted to let you know this will be my last meeting because I didn't run for re-election, and I'm done at the end of this month. But I've been very pleased to be a part of this group. I think the biggest challenges and also the biggest accomplishments of this group have to do with the networking that occurs in this room. This is one of the few groups in the community that has not only the law enforcement folks, the county folks, the nonprofit folks, the community folks, the advocates, all in the same room talking to each other, and I think that's the most valuable thing that this group offers. So I appreciated that, and I want to say goodbye.
So thank you, Darlene, and thank you for all that you do and have done in your many years in the community. I won't say how many years that is, but just thank you for all of that. So as I shared with you earlier, we're going to talk next few moments about workforce development. I know all of us hear and use often the term that we're a resource-rich community, and that means different things to different ones, but we do have a wealth of individuals and organizations doing fantastic work. Part of what we always have to do is keep telling that story and sharing with our community and those not as connected to many of us about what's available. And so we want to, again, spend some time on this issue and topic today. So Tori Exum from University of Illinois is going to start us off.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tori Exum, and I am the Deputy Director, currently serving as Interim Director for Talent Acquisition, the University of Illinois. And I just want to share with you today some updates from the University of Illinois HR, some changes we've made that are pretty significant, as well as some new systems. And then I just want to give you a little bit of an update. We haven't been before you since the summer. So I want to tell you a little bit about some of our summer youth initiatives that we had this summer. So first, I just want to talk a little bit about the new HRIS system that we have at the university. Our old system expired in June, and we went with the new system, Cornerstone, the beginning of July. And so that new system got rid of all of our old applications. We kind of gave people about a 60 to 90-day notice to let them know, hey, go in, grab your old application resume, get all of that information downloaded, expect to have to reapply again. So those who have not applied since July are basically starting from scratch now. Individuals now must apply by the position. So as you know, we are a civil service system for a portion of our positions. That's what this system is mainly geared at. And it used to be you would test and you would be placed on a register and you would wait, basically sitting on that register until a vacancy was available in that particular area, and then we would start referring those who were on the register. That has changed a little bit in that we still allow you to test and be placed on a register, but we now only refer those who have actually applied for the vacancy. So if you're sitting out on a register and that vacancy has come through and you have not applied by the deadline, you would not be considered for that particular position. Our positions are posted typically for a 1 week minimum. The length of the position, as far as the posting, can vary anywhere from a week to a month or more, depending on the position type, how difficult it is to fill, and so forth. We do have a listserv available where individuals can sign up to be a part of our listserv. They can get daily emails of all of our new job postings. I can tell you that the University of Illinois, contrary to what some people believe, is actively hiring. The last time I checked, just on the civil service side, which is a little over a week ago, we had about 504 open civil service vacancies. So that doesn't even take into account academic positions, our extra help positions, or student employment. Individual application help is available within our office. So if you have clients that you're working with that maybe they're not the best at computers, maybe they're confused on where to go, they can call our office or just simply stop by between our open hours. We have individuals that are in person and able to help them. That's Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4. We close at 5, so as long as they make it in the doors by 4 o'clock when we lock the doors, we won't kick them out, we'll help them. We do also have individual mock interview and resume help available. That's something that is new this year. We've been doing this since the summer. It's been highly popular where an individual that's getting ready to go off an interview can actually sign up. They can either come to our office or they could do a virtual mock interview session or resume help. Resume help online. They come in person, we'll print resumes out for them, so it's really a good service. Okay. So we've had a major change in our civil service testing, and this is the big update that I wanted to give today. Our state university civil service system is who governs how we do business. They are also the individuals that handle our exams, a lot of our rules that we follow, and they traditionally go through and make revisions. Typically, we may get 10 or 12 a year, typically on revisions. And traditionally, we have had civil service exams that are a mixture of methods. And so that typically was you come in, you sit down, you take a knowledge-based exam of multiple choice questions or true and false questions. Sometimes that was mixed with doing that as well as looking at your credentials. And that varied by title depending on which type of exam you got. Sometimes those were actual paper exams, sometimes they were done in an electronic format sitting at a computer. Nearly all of our exams now have changed, and when I say nearly all, probably about 99% of our exams are no longer knowledge-based. This is something that we have been pushing for a long time. We've heard from the community, especially in the diverse communities, that our exams for many years have been very biased and that individuals of color have often struggled to pass or compete on those exams. I'm not saying that that is necessarily why the State University Civil Service system made this change, but it is a major change for us. And so what now happens, with the exception of some titles, is no one's coming in to take an exam. They are submitting their application, their resume, their credentials, and they're being scored based on that. And so, again, the exception right now is several of our police officer titles, including public safety as well. Any exam that they had just revised within the last year, they have said, we're not going to revise that right away. We'll wait, and maybe once it hits a year old, we'll take a look at those. But with this change, everyone on the previous registers or previous list of individuals who tested were removed. So we started completely fresh with all of our positions. And so just to give you a little bit about a credential assessment, again, it's a review of individuals' credentials, their qualifications, their licenses. We get rubric from the State University Civil Service System, and then we're looking at that resume. Sometimes there's a cover letter. They may upload their transcript, licenses, certificates, and so forth. And then based on the rubric we receive from the state, we give them a score. If an individual meets the minimum qualifications for a title, they are going to, at a minimum, get a 70. So if you qualify for the particular title, there's no longer individuals who are failing because they are taking that knowledge-based test and not getting enough questions right. They'll get a minimum of the 70 score. I just want to show you some of the different job categories that we have: faculty, administrative support, crafts and trades, education and student services, research, service operations, technical, and then our off-campus jobs, which would be like our other universities, our ACES units that are throughout the state that are a part of our university campus but housed somewhere else, as well as the systems office. So the referral process remains the same. We, when a vacancy comes through and our individual professionals in our office have looked at applications, they've scored everyone, we then start with the top 3 scores. Now, we often have people that are tied at the same score, so this doesn't necessarily mean a department's only getting 3 individuals, but they are getting 3 scores, which could have 10 or 15 people sometimes at one score. With declines, no-shows, people who are saying I'm no longer interested, units continue to move down the register so they can get additional names, and then they make their offer and we start the pre-employment process. Our pre-employment process includes background checks, and I thought it was important to talk about this, especially in this setting, because I often have some of the community partners that'll come to me and they'll say, well, I have a person who is not going to apply at the University of Illinois because they have a background and they feel like they're not going to pass the background check. And I just want to say that's not always the case. And we do have lots of individuals that have backgrounds that are on our campus. The great thing about the university is background checks are done on an individual basis, and that individual has the opportunity to basically write and speak for themselves through their letter. Or they can talk to an individual that'll kind of type out what they've said. They can get letters of recommendation. We don't have any conviction that is an automatic bar to employment. We have individuals who are working on campus who have committed murder in their past. That's just to give you an example. So there's nothing that's an automatic bar. We look at each person on a case-by-case basis. There's a committee that is reviewing that information and they're making a decision. Now, there are some situations where a person has had maybe something major, and the committee might say, okay, this is a person, a lot of time has passed, they've done a lot of good things in the community, they've maintained employment, things like that when a person has a major conviction. What I can say is that if you are working with a person who has a major conviction, they absolutely need to respond when they get that letter. So don't let them look and be discouraged and then don't respond at all, because a no response is definitely not going to help them with their opportunity to potentially clear the background check. We do also, for select titles, do drug screens, Archon strength test, and full physicals. One title I'm thinking of offhand is our building service worker, gets all three of these. A lot of our crafts and trades jobs gets these different types of tests. These are handled through Carl, who is our testing center. And I also want to just talk a little bit about our intern programs, including a new program that we have just developed, which is a college to work type of internship. So our intern program traditionally has been used to bring diversity to our units. We often will have a department that'll reach out and they'll say, you know, I am hiring for an office support person, my unit's not very diverse. I also don't see diversity on the register and the individuals that I've met with. I really want to hire a diverse candidate. Can you help us out? Sometimes we're able to find interns to come and fulfill that need. And then we also have, like I said, the college to work internship. This is for college students with little or no experience. So they're recent grads, maybe they're still in college for some titles, and they're coming out and they're looking for work, and they come up against our pretty tough state rubric that says you not only have to have this bachelor's degree, but you also have to have 2 years of experience. Well, we're losing those college students because they don't have that experience. They go to the private sector or they leave our community completely. And so this is a way to potentially keep them here, to give them some gainful employment. We do partnerships with colleges and universities. In fact, we have a pretty robust IT partnership right now with Parkland College, where we are bringing in individuals that are going through their certificate programs to come into this capacity to work as an intern. We also take community referrals, so we've had some groups like yours that have reached out and have said, hey, I've got this person I'm working with, this is what they're looking for, do you have any possibilities there? These programs, whether it's helping bring diversity in or working with our college students, have full benefits from day one. So our full university benefits, medical, dental, vision, and so forth. Their pay is up to 95% when they start, so 95% of the entry-level rate for that particular title we're able to offer at the start of the program, and as they're in it, that rate increases. The program length varies. The minimum is 6 months. But typically what we're looking at is how much experience does it take to get them to meet the minimum qualifications. So if you're a college student, you don't have any experience, you have your degree and you had that title with the 2-year example that I gave a few minutes ago, then you're going to expect to be in this internship for 2 years. And so you'll have increases during that time, regular evaluations. Again, your benefits are going like normal. And then at the end of your training period, you then start probation. So the training itself, I tell people, it takes the place of having that experience and having the credential assessment done and coming in kind of off of that register. It takes the place of all of that piece. You then start probation and you continue your employment. I have put up there in the right-hand corner those who are interested in some sort of training opportunity can email trainee@uillinois.edu, give name, email address, phone number, and the type of position you're interested in working. And then I just wanted to give an update on a youth initiative that we do every year. This is the 2022 Chancellor Summer Youth Employment Program. The Chancellor has sponsored this program for many years. In fact, I've been on campus for almost 22 years, and I used to actually run this program when I first started. So it's been going for a long time, and it predates me. I was in a program similar to this on campus when I was a high school student. And so we had 50 students that worked on campus last summer. We worked through school counselors at Urbana, Centennial, Central, and Rantoul. The students were able to work 22 to 23 hours a week. Some worked a little less depending on their summer schedule. Some of them were in summer school, camps and so forth, traveling. The pay was between $14.50 and $15.50 an hour, depending on the type of work they did. Those who were working in our crafts and trades areas made a little bit more than those working in the non-crafts area. We had tons of positions. I've listed a few. There's another screen that'll have some of the departments. But office types of positions, again, hands-on, crafts and trades, gardening, research, music, art, preservation, IT. But beyond just coming and working on campus, we really gave these students, and always give the students, a real beyond the work type of experience. Not only are they assigned a mentor from our office, but they also on Fridays get together for like professional development and kind of informational sessions. And so this is just a few of the ones we did this year. They had a cooking course, which was like eating healthy on a budget that we did at the ARC. So they got to come in and learn how to cook a full meal, full course, 4 courses. They did a mock admissions application session where they actually came in and pretended to be students applying to the university. Our undergraduate admissions office worked with them, and they worked through some scenarios like, they stood in a line and, if you have done X, Y, or Z, move back 2 spaces or move forward 2 spaces, and it got to show them, as they are looking at applications, kind of some of what they're looking for and some things they should or shouldn't do when it comes to their high school years, as well as filling out their applications. Many of our students they live right in this community, but quite a few of them had never been on the campus before, and that's a part of this experience. And so they got to come and do a dorm room tour and talk to a residence hall advisor, as well as the management from that area about what dorm life is like, going through the rooms, seeing what it's like, talking about what it's like to have a roommate you may not know. They also got to eat in a dining hall and kind of have that experience, which was really, really fun for a lot of them. They had never experienced anything like that. And it really helps them to picture themselves as a future college student, and in some cases, a college student right here at the U of I or at Parkland. They also did a financial simulation, so learning how to budget, learning how to spend. They had to pick out a career that they were interested in, and that career was assigned a salary, and then they had to go around to different tables in a simulation, and based on what they had selected, they had bills. And so do you get the nice car, or do you ride the bus? Do you live at home, or do you get an apartment? If you get an apartment, do you get a roommate? And it really helped them. This group was probably the most fun group, I'd say, for the financial simulation. I felt like they learned the most because they'd come, Miss Tori, I don't have money to pay my bills. And I'm like, well, at least did you pay the utilities? Did you pay the rent so that you will have a place to stay? And so just some of those decisions that they were making, I think is really going to help them. And then, of course, we always do campus tours, hoping that they will either come here either as a student or as an employee. And it all ends with the chancellor coming in and actually having lunch with them and taking pictures, giving them encouraging words and so forth. And so I really love this program. It's kind of near and dear to my heart. Although I've kind of passed the torch over the years, I always try to get into the sessions and meet the students. And so this is just some of the departments. Some of our students are actually still working on campus. Departments were so pleased. I know we have several in the IT area that have continued. A lot of departments have already said, if I can get my student back next summer, or if they're not coming back, I'm interested in having students. It's been really successful. We also have some that said, hey, I'm going to be applying to the U of I. I can see myself potentially as a student here, which is what we like to hear. And then our planning will be mid-January to start working on the new summer year. The chancellor has committed to increasing each year. So again, we were at 50 this year. I don't know what we'll be at next year, but I certainly expect us to have another program. And if you guys have youth, funnel them through their counselors to, I'd say by February, they should be talking to their counselors. We usually start coming out to the schools in March and April to do interviews and to do sessions. So that's what I have for you today. I do have my telephone number and email address there. I do also have some cards for those who need cards from me. And if you got any quick questions, I can entertain some quick questions.
Really quick, is that the number that clients should call if they are really overwhelmed by the application process?
Same number, yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are crafts and trades still posted only quarterly, or is that just as they pop up?
Crafts and trades, actually, because of the way we do the applications now, we have gone to biannual. And so they will be January and July will be the open dates for those. It'll be the third week of the month in January and the third week of the month in July.
And just for 1 week?
For 1 week.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's give Tori a round of applause. Thanks. All right, so Adam jumped up first. That was going to be my question, who was coming first. So Adam is here from Parkland.
All right, well, we're getting that set up. I'm Adam Harris. I work for...
Are we good on the mics? Okay.
Sorry, I got a little excited there. I was a classroom teacher for 12 years, so I'm used to just getting up here and just start shouting at people, and hopefully something sinks in. All right, so I work for the workforce training program at Parkland, and we are a state-based grant, so our money comes from the state of Illinois, and Parkland has been chosen to help distribute this money into the community to help people increase their training. I'm also going to talk on behalf of a couple other programs at Parkland while I have the attention of this room here. And I just want to say as well, I feel very honored and privileged to have this opportunity to speak to everyone here. My family came to this community back in the Clinton administration a long time ago. I've been many other places, but I always come back here because this is home. I'm so happy to see just these wonderful people here doing great stuff for our community. So, enough about me. What is SWIFT? So, the Support for Workforce Training Program, again, it's a state-based grant, and what we do is we provide funding for people to engage in programs of 1 year or less at Parkland, either through our academic side or through our community education side. And our 4 big areas of focus are healthcare, transportation and distribution, business and IT, and construction and manufacturing. And for every one of our programs, at the end, so they get a form of certificate, whether that's a Parkland certificate or an industry-based certificate as well. We want to give people better opportunities to get employed through us. So I'm going to talk about some of the parameters of our programs as well as some of the things that we offer. This is a list of the current programs that the SWIFT side of things is offering for the upcoming semester and going into the future. Our advanced forklift certification, it's only a 1-week course. We do it about once a semester. Very easy for us to get people in there, get them trained up quickly, and then get them back out into the workforce. We also have an industrial welding certificate. We've got our most popular program by far right now is our CDL program. So we partner with a local driving school here in town, and we help pay tuition as well as some stipends to people while they're in that program. We also have HVAC installation, IT prep, kind of a foundational computers course, as well as our office assistant program, which trains people in a number of different programs that they often use as a front desk person and other things as well related to that. We also have industrial machining and industrial maintenance. These are new certificates that SWIFT is taking on this year based on some of the words we're hearing from our community about what do local employers are they looking for. Also, automotive maintenance and light repair. And then finally, that last one up there is employability skills. Almost every student in our program, we put through a class called Employability Skills. We work on resumes, job searches, things like that. We're also going to offer this as a standalone certificate to try to help some people get ready to maybe venture into another program at Parkland afterwards. So all those are the things we are offering through SWIFT directly. And who is eligible for these programs? Okay, you have to live in the Parkland service area. You do have to be over 18. I know that's a sad news for some people. You do not, though, need to have a GED or a high school diploma for most of these programs. That's not something we require. You must be able to apply to Parkland and be in good standing. You got to attend your classes and do all the requirements, and then do the certification exams at the end. And unfortunately, this is something from the state. This gets counted as income, so you must be eligible to work in the United States. Okay? And we want people to get jobs. The state gives us money to get people jobs, so that's something we are actively asking our people to do at the end. Again, no high school diploma is required for many of these programs. And what do we do for people if you are accepted into the SWIFT program? We cover the fees and tuitions for your courses. So for example, that automotive one I think is 18 credit hours. All the classes in our certificate, we pay the tuition for those courses. And then what's really beneficial for a lot of our students is we have an attendance stipend. So every week they're in class doing what they're supposed to be doing. We will give them $100 for that. We don't give it $100 every week, but that's what we pay out to people in total while they're in the SWIFT program. We also give some completion stipends at the end. So if you're able to earn your certificate, boom, $500. You're able to get a job, $500 more for you. And I want to say this personally, we want to spend the money, okay? We want to spend our money as much as possible, because if at the end of the year we haven't spent that money, it goes back to the state of Illinois. So we want to keep that money in our community, helping people as much as possible. We also pay for all books and course supplies. And then again, if you get a job afterwards, we give bonuses for that as well. Okay? We also, this year, are taking on a new grant as well called the PATH Grant. That's supposed to help with some of the healthcare workforce issues in the state. And so we're also helping to administer that through our office. So we are also helping pay for people in the different healthcare industries. I will say this is a selective scholarship, so you don't automatically get this one or the SWIFT scholarship. If you apply, there is a several-step process, and we, of course, walk people through this process, give them all the supports they need. Some of our programs are very popular, so I have to say no to people because we have too many applicants, okay? Just want to put that out there. Some people don't like when I say no to them, and I wish I could say yes to everybody, but there's only so many seats in some of these programs. For the SWIFT Healthcare, here are the different programs that we are helping pay for at this point in time. Emergency medical technician, emergency medical services, LPN, licensed practical nurse, medical assistant, magnetic resonance imaging, our CNA, nurse assistant program, our occupational therapy assistant, registered nurse, radiologic technology, respiratory care therapy, sterile processing technician, and surgical technology. So, if you know anyone who is interested in any of these fields, they should come talk to us so we can help get them into these programs. I also want to put out there that many of these different programs have prerequisites through Parkland. We will help students try to get to those prerequisites and do all the steps necessary to get into the program, so we can assist with that. But you do need to be able to be entered into some of these programs. So if you don't have a GED, some of these are very difficult to get into at this point in time, but SWIFT is doing everything we can to support people to get to this part of the equation here, okay? Again, very similar to our other grant, we provide for all of the tuition. We also give advising, and you get a program manager. I'm a program manager. So if you're a SWIFT student, either on the other side or the healthcare side, you get me to call you every once in a while, to call your professors, to check in with everybody, and make sure you're doing well. We also provide emergency assistance to our students, in case of situations where they lose their housing, healthcare, things like that. We are able to help out with those situations as well. We also offer our employment skills workshop for our healthcare people, as our other side as well. And again, I just want to point this out. You got to be accepted into a Parkland healthcare program to be eligible for this certificate, but we will help you get there. Okay, so if you know anyone that's interested, I want to be a nurse, I don't know where to start, well, you can start by paying a visit to the D Wing at Parkland College in room 120 and ask to speak to Adam Harris, and I will gladly try to show them the way to get in there. I also want to speak, while I got the time in front of everybody, about some of the other programs at Parkland that are doing great work for our community. I thought would be relevant for this meeting. We have our adult education that is offering classes in a number of different services, but especially the GED programs and the ESL programs, especially for a lot of our people coming from overseas, struggling. We offer services to help people out for that, and almost all these classes are free. So again, we're trying to do everything we can to help out people in the community. We offer morning and evening classes. We teach basic reading skills, math skills to help people earn their GED. Again, ESL classes, college and career certificate programs. And then there's lots of different places you can find yourself in adult education, business and office careers, manufacturing, industrial welding, healthcare, and this is open to everybody in the community. Everybody in the community. Okay. Very popular are the GED classes. There are scholarships available to pay for the GED test itself, which story for a different day. We do, though, have a multiple step process. So if you know someone that wants to earn their GED, please tell them to stop on by and we'll help them walk through this process. But we have a registration period for people to come in. Then we also help them progress in class, improve on their assessments, and get free practice test vouchers so they're prepared to actually take the GED. When the instructors decide you are likely to pass, they will then get you ready to actually take the GED exam. And then we help our students transition into other programs if that is what they desire at that point in time. The SWIFT office works as closely as possible with adult education to get people who are just getting their GED, now they want to get a more advanced career, come talk to us, we'll help them in that situation. They also offer some supplemental programs for the GED for our younger people. So this age is 16 to 24. So while you're earning or working on your GED, you can be a part of some of these different programs, and it will introduce you to different aspects of the employment side as well as different career pathways for you. So we have career exploration, career development and skills classes, paid and unpaid worksite placements. You can gain skills for employment, prepare for the workforce, learn and gain job-seeking skills, develop a career portfolio, help you transition to college, career, and technical education. We also offer individual support, advising mentorship, college readiness workshops and tours, transition and transfer services, again, the vouchers for taking the GED class stipends, and this is a 16-week program. So people that did not complete their normal high school diploma, this is a great opportunity for them to earn their GED, but also be set up for the next steps afterwards. They also offer free ESL classes. These are conversation-based. We try to meet people wherever they are. And they have people that come in with zero English skills, people that come in with very strong English skills, just try to get them where they want to go. Also, I'm super excited. Spell check does not like the word CNA. We have a couple of English preparation classes for different programs. We have the eCNA program, so they are teaching people English skills while they are preparing them to be in the CNA program. We are also super excited about next semester our eCDL program. So we're going to have in both French and in Spanish programs that will teach people stronger English skills while preparing them for getting a CDL license. So I'm super excited about that opportunity for some of our students. And these programs are eligible for residents, immigrants, refugees, people with their green cards, those who plan to stay in the United States. So they don't ask a lot of questions. They just want you to come in and get the support services that we are offering. Okay? In general, adult education is offering classes in the fall and in the spring. Just like our other programs, seats fill up. So if people are interested, rather come in sooner than later to make sure you have a spot in these different programs. And we share an office with them at D120 on Parkland. I also have flyers, handouts, pamphlets, everything you possibly want at that back table over there, which I'll be manning afterwards. If anyone's got questions about anything, I will stick around as long as necessary. Okay. I was also asked to mention about a program where Parkland is partnering with Caterpillar to help improve the skills of some of their workforce. So they're offering a certificate program for people that are currently employed there that will help them achieve higher positions in Caterpillar. This is the course listing. And again, if you have specific questions about that, please let me know. All right. And then the last program, sorry, did I step on your toes there? The last program that I'm going to talk about today before I hand it over to my esteemed colleague is called Project Read. And it's another one that's in our same office, and I see the great work they do every day. This is free tutoring for adults in reading, math, and English. We talked about those prerequisites earlier for some programs. People go into Parkland's Assessment Center. They don't test where they need to get into classes. The next step is we refer them to Project Read. Project Read meets with them, says, what do you need to work on? They set up one-on-one times to tutor them and help them get there. And again, I see great work. Like every single day I come in, people are working very hard on improving their skills so they can transition to some of these other programs as well. Also, I want to speak on behalf of Project Read. We need more tutors. So I know everyone in here is doing the work. We're all in careers that are helping the community directly, but if you want to do some extra work, or you know some people who talk a lot about the problems of the community, but they don't know how to help directly, please come help Project Read, because we do this one-on-one partnerships with people in the most need to help them get the skills they need to be successful in their life. And I'll share this presentation with everyone who wants. If you want to please come volunteer for Project Read, please do so. And then the last thing is our applications. If you're interested in applying to SWIFT or visiting the adult education website, here are some QR codes that will take you directly there. Thank you all very much. And now to my esteemed colleague.
Fantastic. Is this not working here, or does he? No. This is our, or is he just like to? Is he prefer to push the button? No, we got to do that. Ooh, it works. Oh, it does work. He's just a pro. I knew you were the right hire for the job. That's all I had to say there, Adam. And I have to say, all of what Adam just spoke about has helped folks in the past get into our program. My name is Elise Duty Jones. I am the program manager for the Highway Construction Careers Training Program, which is IDOT funded. We are housed at Parkland and I guess 12 other colleges across the state of Illinois. You will see my QR code often, so don't panic that you're going to miss this particular screen, but this is how you get a hold of me. The Highway Construction Careers Training Program is a pre-apprenticeship. We are essentially the boot camp to help you get into the construction trades in the area. There is approximately 17 apprenticeships in the Champaign County area, but because we're IDOT, our program goes well beyond Parkland College. We service all the way to the Indiana side, halfway point to Kankakee. Currently, until Decatur opens up their HCCTP, we are covering that area and Paris south, right? So quite a ways away. So just keep that in mind. We have these requirements here for entry. You have to be 18 years old, high school, GED or GED transcripts, valid driver's license, the ability to read math and reading tests, which is why Project Read is so important, and adult education. We have had several people go through that, not pass our test initially, but come back maybe a year later. There is no shame in that. Please use all the resources in your area to do that. And you have to have the ability to pass a drug screen, including marijuana. That is a life choice. I know it's legal. We're not going to debate it. Please just write your congressman if you think something else needs to be done there. That's all I'm going to say on that. But you're going to see that often here because this is the major number one item that holds people back from getting into construction. You cannot work on a job site near heavy machinery and be slowed down. It slows your brain down. That's why you like it, right? That's a general you. I'm not calling anybody else out on that. When we think of the construction trades and apprenticeship, we call it the Earn While You Learn education system, which means I am telling you, in Champaign-Urbana, 4-year university degree is not for everyone. I know it's blasphemous, isn't it? I shouldn't say that in this community. This is a different degree, and I want some folks to consider this. I'll get out of the way over here. Is it okay if I'm over here, or am I out of screen? Okay, I'll try to speed it up too. Anyways, apprenticeship. I want you to think of it sort of like college, but you do go through first year, second year, third year, and fourth year apprenticeship, and then you graduate and you become a journey person. What I want you to ask your clients, if this is a process that they should go through, is do they enjoy solving puzzles? Are they interested in great pay, not having college debt? Sorry, university. Do they want to work with their hands and create things? Do they enjoy repairing items? And do they like to be active? If your person says yes to 4 or more of these, then this program's absolutely for them. Make sure they're watching this on television later on because it'll be on a loop for the next month. when you're going through the channels on television late at night, go ahead and scan that. This is what you can expect from our program. People go through 425 to 450 hours. There's no cost at all to those who qualify to get into our program. They spend 24 to 35 hours per week with us, so it's pretty intense. If folks want a part-time job, they need to work on the weekend, not at night. You do receive a $10 per hour stipend for being in class, and we're very harsh about if you're late. You must be there, you must be learning, you must be on time, and you must be there every day. We expect everyone to have a minimum 95% attendance rate, right? We take up to 15 students per class. We run only 2 classes per year, and our classes are typically Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sometimes we hold it on Friday, depending on the class cycle. We are sampler platter training, which means we sample each trade that is in the highway construction specifically, but we do dabble in a few others because our goal is to try to get folks into the trades, and we've been very successful in that. In fact, we've got 2 folks right there at the U of I as pipe fitter plumbers. They came and talked to us yesterday. I've got a 4th-year apprentice there and a 2nd-year apprentice, and we're hoping to get more. This is what the wages are in this area. This is why folks who are college, they may not be college bound, or maybe they went to college. We've got plenty of folks who have 4-year degrees who say, don't like the office. Give them about 10 years in the cold, they'll come back, right? That's why I'm in the office. Anyways, this is what they can expect. This is where we service folks. I say we service folks from GEDs to master's degrees because we have all sorts of folks who come through us. And we are a forgiveness program, so if someone has a background, do not worry about that. They just have to let us know just for statistic reasons, and so we can help them out if they've got limitations on where they can travel, because we go and visit all of the different trades in the area. These are the main ones that we focus on because these are who generally build our highways. But don't get stuck on the name of highway construction. Mostly we are called highway construction because we're funded by IDOT, right? The construction trade apprenticeships that we focus on are Department of Labor registered apprenticeships. That means they must meet a certain qualification to be considered. They have to follow things and register themselves every couple of years to make sure that they are on that list. An apprenticeship you do not pay for. That's very important. You do not pay for an apprenticeship. You pay for your books. You might have some initiation fees, maybe some PPE and some tools that you need to pay for, but what's very important is that you do not pay for that education, and that's really important, and that's very powerful, right? A person goes to school maybe at night while they're an apprentice, but they are earning a weekly paycheck so they can feed their family, they can put a roof over their head. Sometimes people will put a down payment on a house by the time they become a journey person. That's my story, right? Some trade apprenticeships also earn, while you're an apprentice, you earn a 2-year degree for some of the apprenticeships, not all of them. This is what you can expect from salary. Not too shabby. That's just in our area right now. This is the process to get into our program. A person must sign up for a 1-hour orientation. Then they sign up for a math and reading test, take a drug screen after their interview, and then they're with us for 4 to 6 months. This is when our big push is. Please let folks know November 18th and December 6th. There are flyers on the back table. Please take those flyers, and I really need help getting butts in seats. Very, very helpful. This is our current class. That's what a class looks like in our training arena. And this is who should be applying. So please reach out to everyone in your circle. We've had a lot of success. If you've got folks working in this sector, they can absolutely do this. Right? Let's move folks out of that lower sector where they should be absolutely paid a lot more than they are. But they're on their feet all day, right? If you're on your feet all day, you can do this. Our graduates go on to build some very excellent careers. We've got electricians out there, we've got laborers. I'd say about 50 to 60% of the folks pictured here, 60% at least, are on job sites right now. This is how you find out about us. That is all. Any quick questions? I know you're expecting us to have just 10 minutes for the two of us, right?
They're going to be in the back for questions. So, all right.
Okay.
So thank you. Justin, come on up.
Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, next. Here you go, sir.
Let's see if I can make this work. It's getting late, and I'm going to run through this. Moral of the story, we have an annual report that I want to email to you. I'll pick that up in a minute. It's this. At the end of the presentation, there'll be an email. Tracy had sent you one, but it was a draft, so don't send that one out. There's an updated version. So I'm going to run through this with the expectation that if you want to know more, go ahead and email me. I'll send you our annual report. And I'd love to talk to anyone about workforce development because it's kind of my passion. Darlene Kleppel was here. She's on my board. Thanks for overseeing what we do. Mindy Kane, she's on my workforce board. Thanks for being here. Thanks for overseeing what we do. I'm with the Regional Planning Commission, and we're part of East Central Illinois WorkNet. East Central Illinois WorkNet is the public assistance workforce development system. Illinois has 26 local workforce areas. Each one of those areas is funded by the federal government for workforce development. Our workforce area is Iroquois, Ford, Champaign, Piatt, and Douglas. Every year we get an amount of money to serve adults, employers, and youth. Our programs include career services, job training, and integrated services. The career services is someone walks in, we basically give them career counseling. Job training is someone wants to go back to school, we pay for them to go back to school. Integrated services is us as a system thinking about how to make referrals and connect folks. So how do I get people to Parkland Adult Ed? How do I get people to the university? How do I help people that have disabilities? How do I connect people to housing? So part of my job is not just to direct services to clients, but also how to improve our regional workforce system. Again, I'm not going to go through these things. I will say that there's a lot of different services to connect in a workforce area. Basic skills, disabilities, housing issues, unemployment, migrant workers, seniors, at-risk youth, food assistance, entrepreneurship, and that's really my kind of passion. How do we get all those things working together to support someone who's going back to school and building a career? The career services and the job training part is really important, but everyone talked about it, and I think you know what it is by now, so I skipped over it. Job training demographics, again, we have a report I can get to you, but male, female, white, black, Asian, Hispanic. A lot of our folks have not gone past high school. We're serving a lot of offenders, a lot of people on food stamps, and then BSD means basic skills deficiency, meaning they can't pass a 9th grade reading or math test. So the people we're serving are a diverse group of people that need help, meaning they haven't gone past high school, they've been an offender, they're on food stamps, and we're going to help those folks turn some things around. We serve employers directly, we serve adults directly, we serve youth by funding local programs. These are all the programs that we fund. And in our program year 21, we committed $950,000 to youth programming. So a lot of the folks that you hear about, we're in some way connected with them, and I just appreciate all you who are in the room who work for these organizations. You do great work, and I'm proud to partner with you on serving our region's youth. Business services, I'll touch on this real quick. When we're working with a business, like I said, we want to bring in other services, and we want to serve a hard-to-serve population. So we had Flex and Gate reach out to us. They said, we have Afghan refugees. Can you help with this? We have a program where we can pay wages and provide support services. And so we enrolled the Afghan refugees into our program. Then we brought over Parkland Adult Ed to provide ESL classes and training in different languages. And then the Refugee Center, they were great. They were bringing people over to the WorkNet Center to help us with applications and with language barriers. So when we are doing something in the community, I do like to try and bring in a support system, and this year, the Afghan Refugee Project at Flex and Gate was a great reflection of how that can work. Local innovations, really proud of this year. We worked with the Champaign County Probation and Court Services and the Illinois Department of Corrections to get the workforce system into some of these different areas. Now, when you're on probation in Champaign, instead of doing community service, you can come to us and go through a career readiness program. That's pretty cool. I was on probation as a youth, and instead of smoking cigarettes at a nursing home, I could be learning about a job. I would have changed that. That sounds like a better deal. So I'm glad that we got to do that. And then with DLC, once a month, I go into 5 surrounding institutions and I say, when you come home, come talk to us. We're going to help you get a job. And we started this during Second Chance Month, and we targeted people who had 6 months until release date. And a fella that I had been seeing on the Zooms every month, he came in October. He came right to us. He had just come home. Within 2 weeks, he came and saw us. We were the first place he saw. We helped him with his resume, got him connected to a job. He's going to be making $24 an hour. He was gone for 13 years. So I'm just really proud of the fact that we're trying to help people that are really need support. And I'm glad that DLC and Champaign Probation wanted to work with us, because we had to design everything from scratch and get everything approved. And those are just starting, but I'm excited to see what we can do in the years to come. Again, we're East Central Illinois WorkNet. I'm with RPC. It's our regional workforce system, mostly targeting public assistance. Please email me, jarnold@ccrpc.org, and I'll send you an annual report, and we could have a conversation sometime. Thanks a lot.
All right. So as Mindy comes up to talk about our youth and next summer and plans for that, so you can do abbreviated and just...
Oh yeah, I won't be cute at all. I'll be real fast.
And as Mindy comes to talk about what we're doing in Champaign schools, we are working on a new improved, robust program in Urbana schools. So, and Tori talked about the university's work on campus with youth. So Mindy Smith from Champaign Schools.
Thanks, Tracy. Okay, so I'm going to skip the first couple of slides or go through them really, really fast. So if you have supervision, you'll be able to see. But this is kind of repeat for a number of people in the room. This is our mission. This is our vision. These are our values. So that's what our program is all about for students. I did want to share what's new this year, because this information is really exciting for us. So we just got increased funding from the school district. Yes, we can clap really fast for that, just really, really fast. So this is huge, because we have started an initiative called Project 250 to serve at least 250 students. We have 2 different levels of support, which we added so that we're meeting the students where they are instead of fitting them in our box. So this means we don't have to wait list our students who we're guaranteeing a summer job, because we facilitate the pay for them, which RPC handles as our payroll. But this is a huge, huge win for our program and for our students. And in addition to that, a huge win for me and my mental health is that we get to hire summer staff adequately to serve those students. So we are not overloading our summer staff with 30 kids who they're following to their job every week. So those 2 pieces are brand new and very, very exciting. We've also adopted a new professional curriculum for our students. So this is something that it improves the learning that they're doing around soft skills and how to build a resume and do interview prep, 5-year planning. It's really, really great. So we're excited to implement that. And we're very excited to be pretty much fully back in person, including our spring career fair, which will be in April this year. So lots of really exciting things. I'm primarily here today. I don't have any adorable students with me to talk to you, which I know makes me a little less interesting, but I really want to do a push for employers. That is my goal at this time of the year. We are actively recruiting students too, but November is typically when I start really pleading for employers to come forward and get on our books. The ones that are highlighted, this is where we are really deficient for students. So if you know of ways that we can help get students into these fields, we do have interest in them. This is just a representation of what we had last year. So some years these numbers are higher, but we are always traditionally kind of low in the ones that are highlighted. This is a list of the types of jobs that students were doing last year. We are always really heavy with human service type things, especially with kiddos, like camps and summer camps and things like that. And then office related positions were typically pretty high in those opportunities. But any of these other, we have a lot of interest in STEM, engineering. We're starting to see more students who are coming to me saying, I want to be a therapist, or I want to do things in the counseling or therapy field. So I'm really starting to branch out and try to look for some ins to a few of these other fields. If you are interested in being an employer, here's just a little information at a snapshot. So our work dates, we tried a thing last summer where we had extended work dates. It was okay, but we're going back to our tried and true trusty 6-week model. So we can make some exceptions for that with some employers, but overall, these will be our work dates next summer. Students get 105 hours if they are facilitated through our budget. If you hire them directly, a lot of these restrictions go away. So we love when that happens. You get to build a schedule that works for you and your students. We do, if we are paying for them or facilitating their pay, we cover all of their tax paperwork. We do all the payroll processing. Your business does not have to take on that responsibility unless you choose to hire directly. Our students are ages 14 and up. We do facilitate work permits if they're under 16, so you don't have to worry about that. And again, we will be doing a huge push for our career fair coming back in person in April. That's a huge event. It's really important that our employers show up so that they can meet our students. This is where to find us. So we have several locations. That's my email, my office number. We have Facebook, Instagram. You can look at our newsletter. And then we're also on the Champaign Unit 4 Schools website.
Great job, great job. So as you can see, we have a number of wonderful opportunities for citizens who need support and help, as we do as a community. So next month will be kind of a year in review. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be more festive. It's going to be upbeat. You know, when I always go back and look at what all we've done through the coalition through the year, I get amazed, right? And which means all of what you all do through the community is amazing. And so please, please pass the word. It's going to be kind of a little different feel, but fun and holiday-ish and all those things. News, Brews, and Beats, we've got our next date, December 12th. We're going to be back at Poor Brothers. That's at 6 p.m. We've got a fantastic panel with Dr. Ruby Mendenhall from University of Illinois, Rachel Joy, the new Equity and Engagement Director at the City of Champaign, Lily Walton, Executive Director of the Housing Authority, and Evelyn Reynolds, who's a professor out at Parkland. So we're going to be talking about, and those of you who had a chance to check out News, Brews, and Beats knows how fantastic those are. Our Race Relations Committee meeting is the 21st of this month at 11:30 a.m. We meet at the Baha'i Center in Urbana. We'd love to have you there to come talk about our work around race and plan our list of activities starting in January. Victory Fest is this Friday, and Sally's been here the last couple of meetings talking about that. So great article in the News Gazette last Sunday about Victory Fest and what it's looking to do. So thank you for all that you do to make our community be the best it can be. Peace and love to you, and then look forward to seeing you next month.